Welcome, everyone. This is Coach Sean McCarthy with Colorado Coaching Company. This is the first in a series of recordings that I'm going to do because I've been looking to do a newsletter, and I get so many newsletters in my inbox that I don't tend to read them. Every now and then, there's something that I'll take a look at. But what I found is that if I provide value to you, the reader, or in this case, the audience member, then maybe you'll continue to open those emails from me and see some value in what's going on. What I plan on doing is creating a series of coaching calls and or slideshow movies like this that address common coaching problems and issues that I help my clients with. Now, obviously, I can't go as in depth as I would if you were a coaching client. But through the use of these videos, I hope to move you along a little bit in your business so that you can see the value of coaching. And as I talk about the value of coaching, that's really what today's call is about. Let me tell you a little bit about me. Actually, first, let me tell you what this call is about. So this call is really going to be about, and I call them calls, and granted, this isn't a call. I'm recording this on my Mac using Keynote. It's the first time I've ever done that. So, sometimes it's learning about those types of resources as well. But this particular coaching movie, this particular coaching call, I'm going to keep calling them a call. This call is really about, so why do you need a coach? Why should you hire a coach? And we're going to go through some of the reasons for that. We're going to go through some of how can you immediately take advantage of any sort of coaching, whether it be through one of these coaching lessons or whether it be through working one-on-one with a coach of your own. But let me start by telling you a little bit about me. My name is Sean McCarthy. I am what's considered a certified master coach. I'm also a certified coach professional through Certified Coaches Federation, and that is also where I got my CMC, my Certified Master Coach certification through. I spent 16 years working with at-risk adolescents and their families, and now knowing enough about coaching, I can say I spent those 16 years, a good chunk of those 16 years, coaching adolescents, coaching their family members to really help them get different results from their life that they wanted. And I just didn't know about the topic of coaching. It wasn't until I started my own business, my own small business, and learned a little bit more about coaching and learned a little bit more about marketing and all these things that I now help my clients with. And so I use the methodologies of coaching to help business owners who were in the same boat as I was. And I knew very little about business when I started in my first business endeavor with two partners. What I can tell you is that first business endeavor was that we owned a used furniture and thrift store, and the two partners approached me to join them. When it was all said and done, within about a year's time, my wife and I had bought out both of the partners. One, because there was just a difference in our business approaches and the goals that we had and our understanding of business. The second one just didn't realize the time commitment owning a business would take, and had hoped to be able to, within a year's time, be able to break free from his regular 9-to-5 job and use the store that we had as kind of that retirement income. And it just was taking up a lot of time. He would work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and that was down in Denver. And then on the weekends, he would work the store, and that would give me my break. And the truth was, I didn't really even have a break then. I'd spend a little time with family, but a lot of that was still doing other functions with the business. I just didn't have to be working the cash register at that time. So that's originally how I got started in business. And then after we had closed that business, began looking at, what else were we going to do, and had discovered coaching, and it appealed to me. I've got a degree in psychology from Indiana State University, and understanding how people work, understanding the psychology of marketing, understanding the psychology of motivation and why we do what we do, that was a large piece of the appeal to me of coaching. And so I've been able to tap into all of that and continue to self-teach and read a lot and take seminars and workshops in order to continually improve my knowledge base and my understanding of what's needed in business and how that can go. So, quick little background on me, I suppose, probably more than I needed to go into, but hopefully that gives you some insight into me. So, the first question that I have for you is, and this is really where people approach um, when they consider working with a business coach. The first question really is so why hire a coach? Why do successful people hire coaches? And this is kind of going into why struggling people need to hire coaches. If you look at a variety of successful, whether that be athletes or celebrities or high-end businesses, almost all of those owners, those executives, those athletes, even the ones, particularly, I want you to focus on the ones that are at the top of their game, they all still hire coaches. Now, if you think about that a little bit, I mean, Olympic athletes down to professional athletes and high-level executives, why would all of them have coaches involved in their life? Well, much of that is those people have learned to understand having somebody, having an advisor, having a resource at their side has been critical to their success. And they understand that in order to keep growing, they're going to need to have that person who can help them stay accountable to their goals, stay accountable to their big dreams and visions, help them continue to work towards the plan that gets developed between those two individuals. They also value that person's perspective. Now, we'll get more into that as we go through this video, but the bigger part here is also that why would a struggling business owner who's barely making any money or sometimes not making any money for themselves, why should they invest in a coach? What I've discovered is that most business owners, and this was me at the beginning when I first owned my business, they get so involved in the day-to-day operations of running their business that they lose focus on the most important pieces in growing their business, of having a successful business. And a good coach is going to be able to provide the necessary feedback, provide the perspective as to where should they be spending their time? What is that focus? And for me, that usually means helping pull them away from being less of an employee of the business and more of the president or CEO of the business. A lot more of that has to do with planning. And just this last week, I had a conversation with somebody who they admitted that they didn't value. The reason they didn't have a plan in place is because that's not what they thought was the most important thing. They thought, working on activities that are going to be productive was the most important thing. But as we looked at the results, they did that for 16 months, and they still hadn't really produced any massive results. Within a short time of just developing a plan, we often see our clients begin to create sustainable results, long-term results that are that foundation that they continue to build the business on. Some of these are very simple things that end up saving thousands of dollars in money and, in the long run, really saving the business and saving the person a lot of time, energy, and money. So a struggling person needs to have that perspective. It's the same reason why you would go to the gym and hire a trainer to help you. If you've tried it on your own a little bit, you know that it can be a struggle to follow a plan. But you see, we're often, almost all of us, are conditioned to be accountable to another person. It starts out with our teachers, then we're accountable to our parents, and then we're accountable to our bosses, and then we're accountable to spouses, and we're accountable, we're constantly accountable to somebody else. And once you become a small business owner, it can be difficult to identify who you're accountable to, who's gonna supply the consequence if you don't do what you say you're gonna do, if you don't do what needs to be done. And so those struggling folks and folks that are getting frustrated in their business because they're not seeing the results that they want, those are some folks that really need a coach. Yet those are the ones least likely to actually hire a coach. Now, throughout this, I'm going to talk about different programs that we have, and there's some low-level entry points. If you don't want to hire a one-to-one coach, there's plenty of programs out there, whether it be through Colorado Coaching Company or our other affiliates, or just other coaching programs. There's lots of them that are out there. We just want you to be able to know your vision and goals and find those programs that align with what you're trying to achieve. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Because again, the successful people out there, they already know that they need coaches. But those that are struggling and not making the money they need to be making in their business, and those that, they're working really hard and not seeing a positive result to all of that hard work, those are the people that really need to make the investment in themselves and investment in their business to hire a coach. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about when is it time to hire a coach. If you're stuck or struggling, it's time to hire a coach. If you notice that all your hard work isn't really moving you forward, it's not growing the business, you're not making any more money, if you're really living kind of paycheck to paycheck, or even worse, not even paying yourself, that's an indicator that you probably need some help. You probably need a different perspective to help move you through. Now, if you're only in the first 3 months of business, okay, maybe you're not ready to make the commitment, so you're going to continue to be stuck, and you're going to continue to struggle and get frustrated and try to figure it out on your own. I hear that a lot. That's okay. Just know that you're just delaying the results that you should be getting a lot longer. It takes some wisdom to recognize that you need to ask for some help. So the second indicator here, let's see here. That one didn't show up for you guys. Let me see if I can. There you go. Is that you're acting like an employee and not necessarily a CEO. Many small business owners get caught up too much in the day-to-day operations of a business. So they're doing production, and they're the marketing department, and they're constantly, every single day, they're filling their daily routine with activities that are the activities of an employee. Now, if you have a business, the idea is that other things, you're leveraging other people, other resources, so that you can be the CEO, that you can make money off of that leverage of other systems in place, whether it be people or automation or delivery, whatever that looks like. But if your day-to-day operations on a regular basis are that you do the employee stuff and you don't spend enough time as a CEO, that's a great indicator that you need to hire a business coach. You need to hire a coach to help you work through that plan, so that you're spending some time as the CEO, you're spending some time in growing the business and looking at the numbers and knowing and evaluating what's successful and what's not successful. Another indicator that we see is small business owners who are just frustrated beyond belief. They are feeling overwhelmed. There's too much to do, not enough time, not enough money, and they're trying to do everything. First off, if that's you, just take a deep breath and let it out. That's where it starts. because this is why so many businesses go out of business. It's not it has very little to do with the finances. We see too many people that dump way too much money into a business that's not that never really has the opportunity to be successful. But this idea of feeling overwhelmed, that's an emotional feeling. That's an indicator that you really do need to have some help, and you need to have somebody that can help you gain perspective. This isn't a fun feeling, but if this resonates with you, and you can understand that this is an emotional response to just other stressors, you definitely need to get some help. You definitely need to get some perspective. Get involved with somebody else. Find somebody to talk to, not a therapist necessarily. Find somebody to help you with the struggles that's going on in your business, because I would bet that majority of that feeling of overwhelm, it's not just about business. It's something also to do about your life. That's a lot of why I kind of intermix my business coaching and life coaching together in our what we call it as executive life coaching, is because you can't separate the two when you're a business owner. But this is an indicator that it's probably time to hire a business coach. Now, here's a big indicator, and we've been encountering more and more of these people lately, and that's you have a really busy business, but you're not making any profit. You're not taking home any money. I'm telling you, if you want to be in business and have a successful business, it should be about the money. If you've got a busy business, and so you've got great sales and plenty of customers and plenty of leads, but you're so busy that you almost can't take care of other customers and clients and some of that, but yet none of that goes home with you. Or the business isn't, and maybe you are paying yourself something, but the business itself isn't really making a profit. This is a great indicator. Your business is primed to grow, but right now you're so overwhelmed and you feel your day just being busy, then it's probably time to hire a coach. This is one that you're going to see immediate results. They're going to be able to help turn this around for you almost instantaneously, and you're going to kick yourself for not hiring a coach earlier. But if this is you, boy, I'll tell you what, after watching this, in fact, I'd stop this right now and contact us, get a free consultation, or contact whichever coach you already know, your local coach. You need to do this today. Put this on the top of your priority list. So when is it time to hire a business coach? The idea here is, if any of these 5 really are, if these identify you, it's time for you to move to the next level. And this 5th one is really about that your business is ready to grow, but you just don't know what to do next. You know your business is ready to grow. You know that the demand is there. You know that you have all of the systems in place, but you're just not sure what that next step is. See, usually when somebody's at that point and they know their business is prime for growth, that's when they really need that outside. And oftentimes we'll try to tie them into also a mastermind group of their peers, of other business owners that can help along those lines. But this 5th one, it's, we kind of moved through a progression here of a very new business of just being stuck or struggling. And granted, a business that's been around for 5-10 years can also feel stuck. And sometimes they do get stuck, and the way they've always done things just doesn't work anymore. But this last one here of when you just know your business is ready to grow, is ready to explode, and you need to get certain pieces in play before that happens, that's a great time. And that's actually a time when you probably need to interview a few more coaches. A lot of these other ones, if any of those kind of relate to you, there's a lot of coaches out there that are going to be able to help you. This last one, you want to make sure that you have the right person on your side. So I hope that helps you understand. And again, these are just some quick ones of, some ways that you can identify or self-identify if it's time for you to hire a business coach. The truth is, any business is going to benefit from having a business coach in their corner. There's no doubt in my mind that any coach worth their weight in salt or is going to be able to help you gain the results and translate that return on your investment. If you have questions about that, feel free to contact us. Excuse me. Feel free to contact us, and we'll give you some things to look for when you're interviewing your coach or looking to hire the correct coach. So now we're going to move on to, what can a coach offer? One of the most important things, and this was really what I began to realize when I invested in myself and hired my first coach. Now, coming out of my coach training, I had a coach, and that was really on how to build my coaching business, and it was helpful. I'm not counting that one. This was I hired a coach to particularly help me with my business, and it wouldn't have mattered what my business was. Also, kind of help me with my a little bit of my life. And the first major one that I invested in was a 4-month coaching program. And it was really just a 3-month coaching program with another month of some follow-up calls. But it was a $4,000 commitment. It was a $4,000 financial commitment. And it was scary to me. And they didn't have a payment plan. They didn't allow a payment plan. Everything was paid up front. But the one thing that I can look back on, and the truth is, I don't know if that program truly helped me very much. I didn't get the results that I wanted from it. But what it did do for me was it made me nestle down and truly make a commitment to invest in my business. And from that commitment, I was personally motivated to begin to take the necessary actions. I was committed to my business, and I can now look at and say that most of my clients, when they come forward and they make a financial commitment, particularly those that pay up front, boy, I'll tell you what, their results come so much faster because our commitments really do follow our financial commitments as well. The ones who I'm usually chasing down to get payments and so forth along those lines, those are usually the ones that they weren't successful because they never made that commitment. They were trying to just half-ass it and didn't really do anything to move their business or themselves forward. The second thing that a coach is going to offer is accountability. What this means is you're going to have regular scheduled time that you're going to work on your business. And that accountability is you saying, okay, I'm going to do this, and then knowing that somebody's going to check in with you to make sure that you actually got it done. That accountability, well, that's powerful. That's most trainers, most nutritionists, a lot of coaches. I mean, and even in athletics, if you've played athletics, you understand that this level of accountability is important. Because if the coach doesn't call practice, most times people aren't going to show up. But having that accountability on a regular basis, it just helps you chip away at what it is you're trying to achieve, stay focused on what you're trying to do. That's the next one. A coach is going to provide you focus. They're going to help you eliminate those distractions in your life and really focus in on some areas that you want to see improvement on. A big part of this whole coaching communication part is also the coach's perspective. A good coach is trained to see things from multiple angles. Oftentimes, we get so involved in our day-to-day that we lose our perspective. And a coach is trained to constantly pull back and look at that 30,000-foot view, being able to help look at the plan of what's ahead, plan for if there may be some obstacles or some challenges. Also begin to look back and say, boy, this is where we were. Look at how far we've come. All of those pieces really add a very valuable piece to your life and to your own little network, to the people around you, your own resources, because So many times as we function in our day-to-day, we lose valuable perspective. And a good coach is going to help you do that. A coach is going to provide you knowledge and resources. Now, the coach may not be an expert in your business, but they are an expert in helping you grow and helping you understand how to apply information that chances are you already know, you've already learned it, but you just aren't applying it. That's that level of knowledge. They don't have to be an expert in your particular industry. They're really, their area of expertise, a good coach, their area of expertise is growing the person, helping you figure out systems, helping you figure out processes in your business and frameworks that will move your business forward. And it works in all businesses. That's where their knowledge comes from. It doesn't matter what industry I work with when I'm working with a client to help them generate more leads. Certain industries, I only apply certain ideas. I won't talk, if I'm working with a financial planner, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about social media in order to get leads. There's too much that goes on in that industry with what's called compliance, meaning there's only certain things they're allowed to say, that they're allowed to post on social media. But there are other fantastic ways that we're going to talk about how to grow their network and get appropriate referrals so that they can still get more leads. Now that approach is going to be different if I'm working with somebody who has a retail store or a restaurant. Social media, in following and making sure there are reviews and that they're asking people to review their establishment, all of that can be very vital for that particular industry. So again, the knowledge is helping you figure out how to apply it and where. And the resources, coaches are an amazing source of resources. They know so many people, they know so many things because they're constantly learning. I know that I'm constantly learning for myself so that I can help my clients grow. That the one piece that I think often gets overlooked is a coach is going to help you with critical feedback. One of my favorite parts of being a coach is when I get to be brutally honest. Because too many times we have folks around us that we go to for advice and we ask for their feedback, and they're just not honest with us. They just really don't tell us, or they don't have the appropriate business perspective or professional perspective to really provide us feedback, but yet we go to them anyway. The critical feedback part in causing you to evaluate what's going on in your business and in your life and the actions that you're taking, boy, this is one that often gets overlooked for what a coach really can offer. And it's one of the most important pieces. I love being able to provide feedback to somebody and then they come back and tell me, you know what, nobody's ever told me that. And sometimes it's going to seem very minuscule, but there's a reason that I'm going to offer that feedback versus all the other things. All of the other obvious pieces, all of the other obvious evaluations. But those little pieces that you otherwise won't hear, that critical, honest feedback, boy, that's going to mean so much more to you when you hire a coach and you decide to work with a coach. Finally, a coach offers experience. A coach not only will talk about what's worked with their clients and their own personal experience and what they've read, they're going to also be able to share with you experience from their past clients and what's worked, what's not worked, what they've learned. All of that, this whole package, and again, this is a small sampling of what a coach can offer you, but overall, it's really the most important thing that a coach can offer you is the results that you want in your business and in your life. So what's holding you back? If you've watched this far, chances are you haven't hired a coach yet. Chances are you're not a part of a coaching program or a regular coaching program. Now, maybe you've done that before, and you're looking and considering, do you need a coach for you and your business right now? The common objections that I hear, and these may apply to you and may not, but the most common one I hear is, I can't afford it. Now, the most interesting thing to me on this is, I hear this from people who have never asked me how much my programs are. We've got very affordable programs. Now, not everybody's, going to benefit from our $100 a month program or our $200 6-week program. It's a matter of where are they at and what do they need. And that's where I think people get frustrated is, yes, some people will benefit. In fact, a lot of folks who have never had a coach, never worked with anybody in this capacity, they're going to see extreme benefit from our $100 a month programs. But the people who need a customized approach and really need that one-on-one time and really need more of the perspective of exactly what's going on right now, because there's issues that need to be overcome right now, those folks need one-to-one time. They're not going to benefit as much from the foundational programs that we offer on our $100 a month programs. But the most important is, ask how much the program is. Begin to figure out, how much have you already invested in your business. Many times it's more about how, can you afford not to get coaching? Look at how all the obstacles and all the things that have been slowing you down, how much that's costing you. Chances are, this is an investment that you can easily afford if you make the investment and you follow it up with commitment. Second one I hear is, you just don't have the time. If this is your answer, is, man, I don't know how this would fit into my life. I don't know how where I'd find the time for this. Simple enough. This is an indicator that you need a coach. You're not prioritizing your time. This, planning, growing, should be the priority for you right now. If you say you don't have the time, it's an indicator that you need a coach, but you also have a bunch of faulty beliefs and a bunch of bad priority management techniques that you're using on a regular basis. Let me grab a drink here. Okay, so the next one is, I can do it on my own. And the truth of it is, yes, you can. You have access to the same books that I have access to. You have access to the same training I've gone to, of the thousands of hours of seminars and webinars and the hundreds of books that I've read. You have access to all of it. But why would you want to do it on your own? That's like saying that, you don't need to go buy a car because you can build one. That's true. You can. You can build a car, you could build a plane, but you don't, because you value that somebody else has already figured it out, has gone before you, and has learned it, and now they're willing to show you the way. Typically, when somebody says, I can do it on my own, it's really it often goes back to is I don't want to pay the money to do it and have somebody else help me. This is possible. You can do it on your own. Now, let me give you that harsh, critical feedback. You could have done it on your own before you ever watched this video. And if you're not getting the results you want, if something doesn't change, it doesn't matter that you can do it on your own. What I can tell you is it won't happen. You won't do it on your own. Now, maybe little pieces of it, sure. If watching this video motivated you, fantastic. Go get it done. When you're ready for that next step and you hit that point where you're going, it doesn't make sense for me to do this anymore on my own, please come back, touch base with us. Continue to watch our trainings, because I'm going to give you little pieces that, yes, you can do on your own. So I'm going to feed that back to you. But here's the whole thing is don't constantly do it on your own. That should not be the goal, unless you're looking to become a coach. If you're looking to become a coach, then yes, go do it on your own. Get that training and get it taken care of. But if your business is unless it's marketing, and if you own a retail store, chances are your business isn't marketing. If you own a retail store or something that's anything other than a marketing company, then learning to do marketing on your own shouldn't be a priority. But that's a big chunk of what I help people do is I help them do what their marketing company or a marketing company is going to help do for them. You can do it on your own. My encouragement is that's not the best use of your time. What may be holding you back is that you really don't believe in yourself. You don't have enough confidence that you're going to follow through. You have a fear of success, is what some people will tell me. Or maybe it's a fear of failure. It's pretty much the same thing. Your beliefs are not aligned to help you succeed in your business, if that's the case. This is a big one. We didn't get into beliefs in this little video, but this can be huge. So lack of belief in yourself may be this may be showing up in many other areas of your life. And this might be, you may or may not be a good coaching candidate. But I would encourage you to talk to a coach. Figure out what needs to change. See that different perspective. Because this lack of belief in yourself, boy, that's going to continue to hurt you for a very long time unless it gets changed. And that's one of those that we work with on a regular basis, is helping business owners gain the confidence they need, not only to help themselves, but more importantly, to help their customers and their clients. This last one, it's going to be difficult. That's true. And if that's what's holding you back and you're not ready to take on the difficult parts, you've just gotten too comfortable. You've gotten comfortable because right now, living the way that you're living, that's difficult too. Or it should be difficult. If you're not living up to your potential, if you're not getting the results that you should be getting, that should be difficult. It shouldn't be easy. But that's true. It will be difficult because it's going to take work. It's going to take change. It's going to take some effort. But the best part is it's going to seem like fun. It's going to seem like when you're pushed yourself, and when you were a kid and you were playing athletics. It's going to feel good to know that you can push yourself and that you can grow and make the changes necessary in order for that growth to happen. You're going to look back and go, boy, yeah, that was a difficult time. That was a hard time for me, but I wouldn't want to change a minute of it. So if this is your answer, and this is what's holding you back, the idea here is go right at it. Tackle this one. Be okay that it's going to be difficult. Take on that challenge. So what's next? What's next is for you to make the decision. Make the decision of how do you proceed? What do you need to do to move forward? Did any of this speak to you? Do you need a coach? If you need a coach, then contact us. If we haven't already sat down and had a 90-minute coaching consultation, I'm putting out that offer right then and there. For being a subscriber to this list and seeing this video, you have that opportunity. Look for the link. Take action. Let's sit down. Let's start the process right now. I'm willing to bet that we have a program that'll fit you, but if not, we'll help you find the right coach that has the program for what you need. Take action now.